good morning. Glad it didn't snow so everybody could make it here today. So we've had a lot of great announcements from our It's Your Money tax cut budget over the last few weeks, as you heard. But today I'm here to announce our final proposed budget. We laid out our It's Your Money tax cut agenda to outline the three major priorities in our budget. Those three areas were: one, cutting taxes by $500 million to help Florida families. Two, reduce state debt to decrease the financial burden on our children and our grandchildren. Three, eliminating government waste to help keep taxes low. First, our budget will return more than $500 million to Florida taxpayers, both to families and to businesses, by reducing taxes and fees. The biggest piece of our tax cut budget is a tax cut of more than $400 million by eliminating the 2009 annual motor vehicle increases. The budget will undo that tax hike and give financial relief to the millions of Floridians who are paying fees on over 13 million annual registrations. The next part of our tax cut agenda is a $100 million reduction in the sales tax on commercial rent, which costs businesses about $1.4 billion per year. Making it more affordable for businesses to lease space means they can keep more of the money they earn and help more Florida businesses hire more people. You might remember my ads back in 2010. Florida is the only state that imposes this tax, and we must keep gaining ground to make Florida the best place to start and build a business. Our budget also includes a $21.6 million cut to the business tax to exempt another 2,000 businesses. This takes our total to 81%. This means 81% of Florida businesses will no longer pay this tax, and they can continue to build jobs. Additionally, the budget also lowers business filing fees by more than $33 million. But it doesn't stop there. In addition to our package of more than $500 million in ongoing tax relief for Florida businesses, this budget also includes two significant sales tax holidays. We have a 10-day back-to-school sales tax holiday and a 15-day hurricane preparedness sales tax holiday. These two tax holidays will save Florida families more than $82 million as they buy hurricane and school supplies. This budget marks another historic tax cut budget for Florida families. Over the last 3 years, we have cut taxes 24 times. And now we're going to give another $500 million back to Florida families. Our tax record in these four budgets represents a sharp contrast to the four budgets before we took office. We have cut taxes dozens of times, but the previous four budgets raised taxes by more than $2 billion. The historic nature of this budget doesn't stop with our tax cuts. Second, we have made record strides paying down state debt. From 1994 to 2010, outstanding state debt more than tripled. In fact, during the 4 years before we took office, state debt increased by $5.2 billion. But over the last 3 years, we have reduced state debt by $3.6 billion. This budget goes even further, paying down another $170 million in state debt. The third major area of our It's Your Money tax cut agenda is eliminating government waste. This budget reflects a savings of $287 million, which has been achieved through several efforts, including $74.9 million from operational efficiencies, $4.2 million from contract renegotiations, $14.4 million from real estate savings, and $37.9 million from reduced debt service obligations and fees. Because of our work to cut taxes and eliminate waste, this budget also reserves funds and pays back money the previous administration raided from the Budget Stabilization Fund. Our budget has $1.7 billion in general revenue, $1.1 billion in the Budget Stabilization Fund, $600 million in the Lawton Childs Endowment Fund, and $1.7 billion in other trust funds, which totals $5.1 billion. Our It's Your Money tax cut budget provides record-setting total operating funding for our K-12 schools, state colleges, and our state universities. In my budget, the K-12 public schools will receive $18.84 billion. This is the highest funding level in Florida history, exceeding the $18.75 billion provided in the 2007-2008 budget. The budget also includes $10.6 billion in state contributions for Florida schools, the highest ever for the second year in a row. Florida's teachers earned the top score in the U.S. 2 years in a row for teacher quality. Florida's Hispanic graduation rate is the highest in the nation. Florida's fourth grade students rank second in the world in the International Reading Survey. And we recently found out that Florida has the highest African American student achievement gain in the United States. We have a lot to be proud of. But our goal is to be the best state for every child to get a great education so they can live their version of the American dream. Before I conclude, I want to talk about just how far we have come since I announced my very first budget. Florida shed more than 800,000 jobs in the 4 years before I took office. Taxes increased, debt increased, and the unemployment rate rose to 11.4%, all while hundreds of thousands of Floridians lost their jobs. Florida was in a hole, and for 4 years, it just simply kept digging. In 2011, I brought together business development experts who said that not only Florida was not competitive for big job projects, they weren't even being considered. Today, that has all changed. The unemployment rate is down to 6.2%. Companies have added 462,000 jobs. We've paid down debt and we cut spending. And our real estate market is on a rebound. Hertz is bringing 700 jobs to Lee County and investing $50 million into the community. USAA is hiring 1,250 Floridians in Hillsborough County and investing more than $164 million into the community. Univision, creating 346 new jobs in Miami and investing $274 million. Amazon is hiring more than 1,000 people in Lakewood and in Hillsborough County. And Northrop Grumman is adding 1,000 new jobs in Brevard County. About 500 people are moving to our great state on a daily basis. And our tourism is setting records. 90 million tourists in 2012. That's up from 81 million in 2009. But we aren't just working to create 700,000 jobs or to get to a certain unemployment rate. We want to build an economy where our children and our grandchildren can compete in a global economy for the best jobs and succeed. Right now, my grandsons don't know what they want to be, except August, my 2-year-old. He wants to be a cowboy. You can be a cowboy. It's a little chilly today, but you can be a cowboy in Florida. As their grandfather, I want to give them the encouragement, support, and the love they need to discover and pursue their own paths. And as a governor, I want to create an opportunity economy in Florida to where my grandsons and every generation can succeed. When I was growing up, my family didn't have much. My parents often struggled to find work. I can remember when my parents' family car was repossessed. And I remember the devastation in my father's eyes. And I realized how important a job was to a family. We want to create an opportunity economy in Florida. Letting people keep more of the money they make means families have more money to invest in their children and pursue their individual dream. That is what our It's Your Money tax cut budget will help us do. My message to the people of Florida is this: it's your money. We want you to keep it in your pockets. Invest in your hopes. Invest in your dreams. Our state is headed in the right direction. We have a bright future ahead. Let's keep working. Thank you. I'll try to answer any questions anybody has. Yes, sir.
Do you have bonuses for state workers in your budget?
I do. Cynthia Kelly can go over that, but it's similar to last year, where we'll have $5,000 bonuses for some and $2,500.
Okay. Why not raises for state workers this year?
Because I believe in the bonuses. I believe in variable pay.
Your budget request includes 30 million for Florida Forever, not the Everglades, but Florida Forever. That's about 10% of the historic payments before you took office. Do you think the state owns too much land, or will it ever get back? Should it ever get back to 300 million?
I think we ought to continue to invest. You know, if you look at what we've done in our budget is, as our economies continue to get best, let's make better, let's make strategic investments, and Florida Forever is a good strategic investment.
Your budget's eliminating 1,200 positions. Where are those positions coming from?
Cynthia Kelly can go over that with you, but, you know, we're adding positions, as you know, in DCF, we're adding positions in corrections, but she can go through exactly the details on those. Gary, do you have a question?
Yeah, Governor, 4 years ago, you did make a big deal about getting rid of the business tax for all of the citizens.
Right.
Your budget is very small, like, what can you say about the likelihood that you will reach your goal of getting rid of that tax?
Sure, making progress every year. But look, my goal is, let's get money back into Florida families' hands. Let's continue to build our economy. This $500 million tax cut, starting with the 2009 tax increase on voter vehicle registration, is the right thing to do. We're going to continue to put money back in Florida businesses and families' hands, and we're going to continue to grow the economy.
Governor, your proposal on education here said that you're going to spend money on an assessment for students that's going to take them less time. What does that say about where you plan to take the state assessments that are going to replace the FCAT?
Look, Pam Stewart's doing a great job. We have a great Commissioner of Education, Board of Education. They've gone around and talked to teachers, families, parents, students about what we should do. You can go sit down with them and see what they're doing. It was a great proposal to make sure we have Florida standards. But here's what I'm proud about. We have the right budget, $18.84 billion for K-12, historic funding for K-12, for state colleges, and for universities.
Governor, did you have to choose between tax breaks and funding education in this budget? Many educators say that this proposal does not take them very far and is basically absorbed by the teacher pay raises from last year and by pension costs.
$18.84 billion, $18.84 billion, historic funding. 2 years in a row, we've added over $1 billion. Last year, we put our teachers in position for $480 million in pay raises, and look at the results. Fourth graders, #2 in the world in reading. Teachers, highest quality according to the National Chamber Foundation. Highest graduation rates for Hispanic students. Significant student achievement gain for African American students. We're heading in the right direction, and we're investing the right amounts of money. So again, it does.
Governor, on your education budget, I want to make, if I'm reading this correctly, you have provided the exact number. It would appear that we were relying on a rise in property values in order to pay for your education budget increase. There are people, including the Republicans in the legislature, who would view that as a tax hike. And you, in fact, in your campaign, you wanted to bring down property taxes charged at the local level. Could you explain to me, am I incorrect? Because it would appear at first glance that this is
Sure.
a property tax hike.
So if you look at what's happened, as you know, my first year in office, we reduced property taxes over $200 million. My job right now is to make sure we continue to fund education. If you look at the future of our state, what do families care about? I want a job, I want a job, I want a job. I want to make sure my children get a great education. $18.84 billion in K-12 funding, historic levels for state colleges, universities. We're making progress. We have performance funding in for our universities. We're headed in the right direction.
But you didn't answer the question.
Governor, 2/3 of your increase in the FEFP looks like it's funded from local revenues, and that's coming from local property taxes. Doesn't that mean more money out of people's pockets through property taxes?
If you look at it, we have historic state funding, $10.6 billion, second in a row, to put into K-12. We're headed in the right direction.
We've got time for one more question.
You mentioned the Florida retirement system is on one of the best managed plans in the country. Is this the year for the reform that is being proposed out of the Florida House to totally overhaul the Florida retirement system?
I haven't seen the proposal, but look, I want to make sure that anybody that relies on our pension plan or our retirement system gets it. But I haven't seen the proposal.
Doesn't sound like
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today.